All right, sources are telling Fox that the Ohio State attacker praised a prominent dead al-Qaeda leader as a, quote, hero online. The FBI is investigating any terror connections to the Ohio State University attacker, Abdul Artan, and they are searching his electronic devices for any clues right now. Mike Tobin of Fox News is in Columbus, Ohio with the very latest for us. Hi, Mike.
And Trish, you mentioned heroes. A lot of praise is being heaped on the police officer, the campus police officer who stopped the attack while it was ongoing, Officer Alan Harujko. And it's interesting to note that some of his training goes back to the Israeli Defense Forces and their counterterrorism technique. According to Aaron Cohen, who designed the program, it is intended to stop an attacker when there is no time to wait for backup, and that is exactly the scenario we saw play out here on the campus. Now, about that attacker, as you mentioned, we are learning more about Abdul Razak Ali Artan, 18 years old, in this country legally. He did leave hints online, although investigators say he was not on their radar. He ranted about the treatment of Muslims in Burma. He warned about sleeper cells in the U.S. He praised the American-born cleric Anwar al-Awlaki. That's an individual who was born in the United States. He radicalized. He was killed in a U.S. drone strike, and he's become a symbol, if you will. He's evolved into a symbol for online jihad wannabes. Now, 2 of the electronic devices belonging to the attacker have been seized by investigators. They're looking to see who he was communicating with, what he was reading online. There are a lot of indications that he did self-radicalize, but investigators cannot say that definitively yet. Trish?
All right, thank you very much, Mike Tobin. All right, well, the FBI is still investigating a possible terror link. It's important to remember that we welcomed him here. We welcomed this young refugee to come to America from Somalia for the chance at a better life. So why would he turn against us? Joining us right now, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, the founder and president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. Good to see you, Zuhdi.
Thank you.
What do you think? This is the concern, this self-radicalization that's happening among some members of this community right now, is it not?
Well, it's not only self-radicalization, Trish. I mean, it's what many of us reformists have been screaming for years, is that just like the Cold War was about communism, the ism here is Islamism. This gentleman did not turn against us. He was never with us in order to turn against us. He was always against us. And there's a percentage, while it's a minority, a significant minority that come here not only as violent extremists, but come here as Islamists who don't believe in our system, hate secular democracies. They believe in Islamic states. They believe in a Sharia state. They believe that America is anti-Islam, so they feed into the grievance movement that somehow we as Muslims are victims. Those are the signs that we should be following. But unfortunately, Homeland Security, this administration, Obama administration, has been focused on a whack-a-mole program where we continue to think, oh, what turns on?
It's not Islam, right? I mean, this is important, Zuhdi, in that you are saying Islam is the issue here. You know, as someone who's Islamic yourself, you're saying there's a problem in the religion. In other words, he didn't turn. He was always this way.
He was always a theocrat. So within Islam, we need to be pushed, shoved, and dragged into the 21st century to start to marginalize those within our community, imams like al-Awlaki, and even the nonviolent imams who are preaching this Islamic State supremacism need to be marginalized, whether they be from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, etc. There are millions of Muslims who are following this idea that may not be terrorists, but are yet pushing people like this down that pathway to all of a sudden they may become violent. So our Homeland Security should be following Facebook posts that are anti-Semitic, anti-American, and look at conspiracy theories, not to prevent their free speech, but to put them on the radar so that it's not a surprise when all of a sudden then they pick up the ISIS magazine that says use a knife on beaches and in schools, use a truck like they did in Nice or in Chattanooga or in San Bernardino when they did the shooting. So these are not surprises, and we're going to continue this failing whack-a-mole program until they start to listen to us and change the mantra, which I hope the Trump administration does.
Dr. Jasser, I mean, I know, Zuhdi, you've been out there trying to push some of these religious clerics. Does the administration start to get them together and say, hey, listen, guys, you've got to fix yourself. And if you don't fix yourself, you're going to have much bigger problems with us?
Again, like the Cold War, we need to have identification of the enemy's ideology as Islamism, the Islamic State movements, Muslim political parties like the Muslim Brotherhood, Jamaat Islamiyya. Our countering violent extremism program needs to end, and it needs to be replaced with countering violent Islamism. And until you do that, you're not going to know who your enemies or your friends are, and the vetting is going to be a waste of time because all they're vetting for is terrorism instead of vetting against Islamism and this separatist ideology.
Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Anytime.
All right.
Thank you.